Amber called her uncle, said we're up here for the holiday. Jane and I were having solstice, and now we need a place to stay. And her Christ-loving uncle watched his wife hang Mary on a tree. He watched his son hang candy canes, all made with red dye number 3. He told his niece, it's Christmas Eve, I know our life is not your style. She said, Christmas is like solstice, and we miss you, and it's been a while. So the Christians and the pagans sat together at the table, finding faith and common ground the best that they were able. Just before the meal was served, hands were held and prayers were said, sending hope for peace on earth to all their gods and goddesses. The food was great, the tree plugged in, the meal had gone without a hitch, till Timmy turned to Amber and said, is it true that you're a witch? His mom jumped up and said, the pies are burning, and she hit the kitchen. And it was Jane who spoke. She said, it's true, your cousin's not a Christian, but we love trees, we love the snow, the friends we have, the world we share. And you find magic from your God, and we find magic everywhere. So the Christians and the pagans sat together at the table, finding faith and common ground the best that they were able. Where does magic come from? I think magic's in the learning, 'cause now when Christians sit with pagans, only pumpkin pies are burning. Amber tried to do the dishes. Her aunt said, really, no, don't bother. Amber's uncle saw how Amber looked like Tim and like her father. He thought about his brother, how they hadn't spoken in a year. He thought he'd call him up to say, it's Christmas and your daughter's here. He thought of fathers, sons, and brothers, saw his own son tug his sleeve, saying, can I be a pagan? Dad said, we'll discuss it when they leave. So the Christians and the pagans sat together at the table, finding faith and common ground the best that they were able, lighting trees in darkness, learning new ways from the old, and making sense of history and drawing warmth out of the cold.
Our opening words this morning are by Victoria Safford. Now is the moment of magic, when the whole world, when the whole round earth turns again toward the sun, and here's a blessing. The days will be longer and brighter now, even before the winter settles in to chill us. Now is the moment of magic, when people beaten down and broken, with nothing left but misery and candles and their own clear voices, kindle tiny lights and whisper secret music. And here is a blessing. The dark universe is suddenly illuminated by the lights of the menorah, suddenly ablaze with the lights of the Kinara. And the whole world is glad and loud with winter singing. Now is the moment of magic, when an eastern star beckons the ignorant toward an unknown goal. And here's a blessing. They find nothing in the end but an ordinary baby, born at midnight, born in poverty. And the baby's cry, like bells ringing, makes people wonder as they wander through their lives what human love might really look like, sound like, feel like. Now is the moment of magic, and here's a blessing. We already possess all the gifts we need. We've already received our presents, ears to hear music, eyes to behold lights, hands to build true peace on earth, and to hold each other tight in love.
And now we'll have the chalice lighting. With humility and courage born of our history, We are called as Unitarian Universalists to build the beloved community where all souls are welcome as blessings and the human family lives whole and reconciled. With this vision in our hearts and minds, we light our chalice.
Let there be light to drive away the darkness. Let there be wisdom to shine on the unknown. Let there be let each of us be a light for one another.
Welcome to Northwest Unitarian Universalist Church. I'm Kimmy Regal, the minister, for a couple more weeks. I'm here in the sanctuary with Alex and Jake, Alex at the piano, and Jake at the soundboard where he belongs. It's great to have you guys here with me this morning. We also have Ken Hermanot with us, who's doing the videos for us, and obviously a lot of singing. And we have Jan Price and Ben Gable also with us this morning. Welcome to everyone. Let's have a joyous celebration.
And this is time for Julie, our youth programs chair, and Linda Gobeski, our board moderator, to share a few words.
Let each of us be a light for one another. This season of light is a fitting time for us to say goodbye to Jan Price as our Director of Religious Education, and then after a bit, say hello to her again as a congregation member and friend. Jan has truly been a light to the youth and families at Northwest as well as others. Besides her dedication as DRE, many of us have said in recent conversations that Jan is so special in her patience, her holistic perspective, her quiet support, her openness, her lightheartedness, her warmth, her welcoming energy, her smile. When the kids drew goodbye pictures for Jan in Children's Chapel last Sunday, Jim Moyer drew a picture too, and it was a picture of a chalice with Jan's face as the flame, which was both very humorous and also heartwarming. And all of the grown-ups understood it as a perfect symbol of what we'll miss about Jan in her professional role, the light of her wisdom, as well as the soft, enveloping light of support with which she has surrounded our children and our families. Jan, we wish you a bright future as you move into retirement, and hopefully we can all be a light for you whenever you need it.
Yule, the festival of the winter solstice. It's a time of year associated with Christmas, a time of rebirth, a time of hope as we settle into the darkness of the winter skies. We are familiar with the rhythm of this cycle. Kimmy, as we acknowledge your last Sunday service with us, you are closing out the cycle of your ministry here at Northwest. You have nurtured us and held us in our grief. You have celebrated with us. You have counseled with us. These things have endeared you to this community. As we look forward to a new beginning, we recognize that you too will have a new beginning. But know, Kimmy, that nothing ever really ends. You have become a part of the fabric of our lives. While you will be missed, we wish you well. And in the words of John O'Donohue, though your destination is not yet clear, you can trust the promise of this opening. Unfurl yourself into the grace of beginning that is at one with your life's desire.
Awaken your spirit to adventure. Hold nothing back. Learn to find ease and risk. Soon you will be home in a new rhythm, for your soul senses the world that awaits you.
from Sophia Lyon Faz. And so the children come, and so they have been coming. Always in the same way they come. Born of the seed of man and woman, no angels herald their beginnings. No prophets predict their future courses. No wise men see a star to show where to find the babe that may save humankind. Yet each night a child is born is a holy night. Fathers and mothers sitting beside their children's cribs feel glory in the sight of a new life beginning. They ask, where and how will this new life end, or will it never end? Each night a child is born is a holy night, a time for singing, a time for worshiping, a time for wondering.
Christmas time, I love you. The winter months are cold, but I feel warm inside. 'Cause though the nights are long, they're full of cheerful song as everybody celebrates Yuletide. Christmas time, I need you. You take my jaded heart and make it full of joy. 'Cause you still care to put some magic in the air for every man and woman, girl and boy. And when you're here, I wish that you would stay forever, but you don't. No, you always go away. And when you're gone, I wish that we were still together, but we're not. And it has to be. Christmas time, I miss you. You dream of peace on earth and goodwill to all men. And though I dearly love the rest of the year, it's better when you come around again. Christmas time, I love you. Christmas time, I need you. Christmas time, I miss you.
The winter holidays are here, and we are so glad to see them with all the lights and the good food. And yet, they are so different than years past, so vastly different. We won't be gathered around tables with family and friends as we celebrate safely with our housemates. We won't be gathered at church tonight, decked out in our holiday wear, to listen to our fabulous choir, see each other in candlelight, and share sweets and conversations. It is a different year, and still there is gratitude and reason to celebrate. This sermon is a celebration and a farewell. Soon we will be on the other side of this pandemic, and much will have changed. All of us have lost something: time, innocence, or perhaps more concretely, even jobs. And some of us have lost loved ones. we have lost members of our congregation and friends. So many people have been lost to this pandemic. We know we must say farewell and live on. We must keep moving forward with the holes in our hearts. This morning, we will read the same readings we usually read, the ones we usually do for candlelight. And we will remember years past with different readers and different music. And it will feel familiar and still so different. It will trigger memories and maybe even tears. Alex and I were preparing with our Kleenexes before service. I am grateful to be in this space one last time as a minister to this community. Doing these familiar things brings peace and a sense of continuity. Seeing these familiar seasons, the symbols of the season, the candles, the flames, they allure us. The future will be part of the past. It can be assuring. Over the years, we have added to the familiar menorah and Advent wreath a kinara for Kwanzaa, a Yule log for the solstice, and a new creche. It will be different next year when your interim minister will have new ideas and new things to try. You have all done so well adapting to this online worship. I know you will continue to be open to the changes that come. Some changes we make because we want to. Maybe your holiday meals have gotten more simple over the years, or maybe there are new little ones to join in the festivities, or maybe your decorations have changed. Some changes we make because of circumstance. For instance, I would stay if I could. I love you all. And I love this community. I love all we have accomplished together. I have enjoyed our journey, and it is time for us to let it go. The ceiling is saying goodbye. I love it when she cracks up there. It's great. It's time for us to let it go. The past is a strong foundation for your forward movement. I encourage you to continue on the path of becoming an even more welcoming and inclusive community. You have come so far. This church has always been known as the friendly church, and that has only grown. I know you will continue to put relationship at the center of this community. You will continue your anti-racism work, and you will continue to nurture families and build a strong intergenerational friendships. As you listen today to the readings and watch the videos, take in the messages of beloved community and love. Treasure the vision of all of these symbols sharing the chalice together. You can hold this diversity, all of it, and even more. Carry this time to comfort you through the coming quiet months. Remember, the light and the warmth will be waiting for you. You will return, and you will be happy to see one another. Never forget, I love you. Namaste.
The next reading is Winter Solstice by Reverend Rebecca Parker. Perhaps, for a moment, the phones will stop buzzing, the wheels stop rolling, the computers desist from computing, and a hush will fall over the city. For an instant, in the stillness, the chiming of celestial spheres will be heard as Earth hangs poised in the crystalline darkness and then gracefully tilts. Let there be a season when holiness is heard and the splendor of living is revealed, studded to stillness by beauty. We remember who we are and why we are here. There are inexplicable mysteries. We are not alone. In the universe, there moves a wild one whose gestures alter Earth's axis towards love. In the immense darkness, everything spins with joy. The cosmos enfolds us. We are caught in a web of stars, cradled in a swaying embrace, rocked by the holy night, babes of the universe. Let this be the time we wake to life, like spring wakes in the moment of winter solstice.
Hallelujah, hallelujah, betzil zeleterua, kol hanshamate hallelujah, 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 kol hanshamate hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah.
I'm muted. The Shamus is the Tall One by Laurie Rottenberg. Now is the hour when we turn darkness to light. Now is the hour when we assemble those we love. Now is the hour when we kindle memory's flame. The Shamus is the Tall One, responsible for lighting the rest. At first, these candles were oil, throwing shadows on ancient temple walls. At first, we were few fanatics, defying darkness and desecration. At first, our candles were lit by those who knew a necklace of lights stringing the generations. The Shamus is the Tall One, responsible for lighting the rest. In the tinder of our patchwork nation, our small celebration has ignited beyond its birth into a flare of identity and remembrance. We who are Jews use blazing menorahs to find our way in the blinding dazzle of Christmas. We pump our 8 days of dreidel and gelt like bellows to show we too can offer fuel for December's joy. Even when we know little else of our own story, we take out our necklace of lights and dress for winter, writing new chapters in this young land that is now our home. The Shamus is the Tall One, responsible for lighting the rest. But even if you have no memories of beloved elders chanting a guttural holy tongue while holding the Shamus aloft at dusk, the menorah compels us all to consider how centuries change stories, how celebrations reflect as much as preserve, and how we shape consecration of our own rituals. We can all remember that it takes only a candle to light the way for each other. It takes only a candle to gather us together. It takes only a candle to set alight the bonfire of memory. The Shamus is the Tall One, responsible for lighting the rest.
holiday. Come on, celebrate and rejoice. Spreading unity in our families and communities. Because our legacy makes us so strong. Yeah, yeah. So let us come together to celebrate this season of Kwanzaa. It is Kwanzaa. It's time to celebrate and move so sober on this day. Because Umoja, Kujichagulia, Ujima, Ujama, Nia, Uba, Imani. Hey, to reflect upon our past, we've come so far. Remembering all of those who came before us on Kwanzaa. From Rosa to Malcolm to Dr. King and Turner. Yeah. From Du Bois to Ashanti Wall. We honor you on Kwanzaa. It is Kwanzaa, yeah. It's time to celebrate. On this day, we got Umoja, Umoja, Kujichagulia, Shama, Nia, Kuba. That is what we need. Night by night, we light a candle as we reflect on what it means to love. What it means to love. We got the red for the blood and black for us. In the green for the land, yes, for the land. It is Kwanzaa, yeah. It's time to celebrate. Yeah. On this day, we need unity, self-determination, collective work and economic opportunity. Yeah. Purpose is what we need, and creativity. Faith is what we really need. Ujama, Nia, Uba, yeah. Faith is what we really need.
Christmas Eve is a time for candlelight by Reverend Tracy Pullman. Christmas Eve is a time for candlelight. It is a time when one desires nothing more than family and soft music. Who can say what passes through our hearts on Christmas Eve? Strange thoughts, undefinable emotions, and sudden tears, all this and more unbidden come without reason. And we burn candles, for this is Christmas Eve. Christmas Eve is not a time to be merry, but quietly glad. It is the proper time to wish upon a star. It is the time to watch children with excited, happy eyes troop off to bed to await the miracle of the dawn. It is a time of wonder, of thankfulness that life is still being created anew out of darkness. It is a time of quiet awakening to beauty that still lives on through the strife of a war-torn world. And we burn candles, for this is Christmas Eve. Christmas Eve is a time of heartbreak, when those who are not at their own fireside are most missed. Christmas Eve is a time of blessing, when all the heartbroken world gives thanks for the quiet beauty of rest, when one is closest to one's companions and is not then enemy to any person. And we burn candles, for this is Christmas Eve. Christmas Eve is a time of memory, when one remembers past happiness and love and often sighs for the good that might have been. Peace on earth,
And now comes the memory of the story of the first Christmas, so old and yet so new. We lose ourselves in legend and dream of storybook people. Tiny Tim and the other wise man live again in the memory of human hearts. And we burn candles, for this is Christmas Eve.
This is the light of love. With love, we reach out to people near us and then people far away. Loving and helping others makes us feel good. This is the light of peace. When people understand and care for one another, they will live happily and peacefully together. This is the light of hope. Hope keeps us going when we are feeling low. Hope keeps us believing that a time will come when there'll be no more fighting among nations, a time when all people will become friends. This is the light of joy. It reminds us that joy is a gift of life, and we are called to seek and create joy. Over the face of the ancient earth, the passing generations have come and are gone, and we have not yet seen the triumph of good over all. We have not seen the triumph of good among all people. May we here dedicate ourselves once again to the task of bringing our lights, our gifts, to the life that will burn brighter with its gifts.
Silent night, holy night, all is calm, all is bright round yon virgin holy infant, so tender and mild, sleep in heavenly peace, sleep in heavenly peace. Silent night, holy night, shepherds quake at the sight, glory stream from heaven, heavenly hosts sing hallelujah. Christ the Savior is born. Christ the Savior is born. Christ is born.
When the song of the angels is stilled, when the star in the sky is gone, when the kings and princes are home, when the shepherds are back with their flock, the work of Christmas begins. To find the lost, to heal the broken, to feed the hungry, to release the prisoner, to rebuild the nations, to bring peace among sisters and brothers, to make music in the heart.
Thank you, Alex.